Hey, it's KR from D&D Homebrew, and today I am going to be creating a dungeon in 10 minutes, as the title of the video says. Now, there's a couple things here, like why am I doing this? Is it because obviously, well, I like to spend 2 hours on my dungeon. Why are you restricting yourself to 10 minutes? Well, part of it is just to see if I can do it, right? To see what I come up with after 10 minutes. But part of it is I often find myself, before I'm getting ready for a session, that I've said something to the players, or I realize, holy cow, they're going into that dungeon complex, or they found some entrance way, which is the example I'm going to use here, and I forgot all about it. And I could sit there and try to plug something in, or can I come up with something in just 10 quick minutes that I can then fill in? Because it's probably going to take me a little more time to fill in, but I want to create this. And again, I'm doing this on Dungeondraft, which is a computer software program, because I use VTTs. I'm running online, a campaign online, so I would have this in a VTT. So then I got to set it up with line of sight and some other things. So 10 minutes, if I realize this with an hour to go, I don't have that much time to set it all up, to think it through, whatnot. And I've literally drawn stuff up in 10 or 15 minutes for that reason. Again, I don't like to do that necessarily. I'm not planning on doing that. But I have done it. So again, there's a little bit of a gimmick here, but there's also a little bit of, if you're pressed for time and you got to do something, what can you come up with in 10 minutes? So I have to have an idea to go into this. And I just thought of, okay, there's a lost tomb. The players discover an entrance down in. And I'm going to have the tomb part, which is going to be cut stone. I'm going to have a river running through this. And I'm going to have potentially an area of the river where the river meets up with the cut stone. Maybe these guys, they took these caverns and they put stonework in there for this tomb. And then I'm going to have some caverns on the other side of the river where maybe things live. And so you have this entrance here, and then maybe an exit if you want through the river that's running through this cavern. You don't have to. But that's the basic setup. So I've got three areas, which is the cut stone area, the river area, although the river's just going to run through this, and then the cavern. So I'm going to try to do this in 10 minutes as best as I can. We will see. I'm just going to stop at 10 minutes. All right, here we have the main page of Dungeondraft, and I am going to start my timer at this point. We're going to have this 48 by 27. That's 240 by 135. They're 5-foot squares. Loads up the there's all sorts of noise outside my place here, so you'll be hearing honking and stuff. Something's going on. Okay, this is my basic setup. First thing I'm going to do is take the water that runs through this. I'm going to just create a shape that goes sort of like this. There's my water. Then I'm going to make that into more, rough instead of the lines. And maybe I'll just have a little island out here. I don't know, maybe one right there. Okay, so there's the river. Maybe I'll just have a little river like that. Okay, so now I'm looking at this. I've got more room over here. I'm going to create the cut stone area. Ooh, that's a wall. I don't want that. And what I'm going to do here is, and I'm 1 minute in, 1 minute. Okay, I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to do this. Oh, actually, I'm going to do my terrain first. I'm screwing up. Dyson S like so. Now I'm going to do building. I'm going to do Dyson there. Okay. I'm going to have this little room up here. And this is where the entrance to this has been destroyed over time. But there's this little room up in here. Turn my snap back on. And this was an area that the grand priest would use to potentially escape. I'll have these. That's his quarters. And maybe he has a little room like so, like a viewing area for this. We'll see. All right. And then you've got this kind of vestibule, and then maybe a hallway like so. And we'll make this is maybe the sub-priest of some kind, like so. And then we'll have these chambers. These are either for the, I don't know, the acolytes or something. I'm not going to have that I'm going to get rid of that because I want to have this cavern. Let's see, I've got all this space out here. I wanted to have this as, let's see how this is going to work now. Because I've got cavern and I want to make this all cavern that runs along here and comes right up to, I don't know if I want that per se. Let me think about this. Oops, I don't want to do that. Because, and I'll just start creating this over here. This is the main caverns. Okay, and then we've got maybe it goes like this. And like so. I don't want that to go off the map, so this will have to be small. Maybe I'll have that going. And when you have this breakout like this, let's see. Maybe I will have a little thing here. Like so. And then this will break in. Okay. And then I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to blast all this open. This is like shoreline. And I'm going to have this come up to here as well. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to dig that out like so. And this is going to come, this is a secret, another entranceway. All right. I'll just clean that up. And then this is going to be like so. So all this opens up. And let's see here. I'm at 430. All right, that looks pretty good. Then this opens up like so. And then we'll just sort of clean that up like that. Oh, that opens up. All right, and then clean that up like so. All righty. And then I got a lot of room down here. So this will be, I think, where, let me see how this can work. Maybe I will kind of create an interesting, I'll go like, how can I do this? Like this to here. This is kind of goofy, but what the heck. Okay. Why I'm doing this, I don't know. Except for the fact that what I wanted to do was... that's not good. Oops. Redo that. I want to create... running at 5 minutes, halfway done. I want to create a section like so. Okay, that used to be, and then I'm going to fill that. So my objects. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some stairs. And I'm going to go circular stair in here. This is where the high priest hangs out. Go escape chair. This is the stairs he uses. This is down. There's going to be a secret door here. So I'm going to create a wall from here to here. Oops, that's not what I want. I got to get my walls under control. Boom. From here, here, here to here, here to here. And these are secret doors. So I'm not going to put doors on. Well, I will put doors here. Like so. All of these, you know, the classic doors in dungeons, right? And then doors. All right. Doors, doors, doors. That's uneven, so we'll put it on that side. Not a fan of the uneven, but that's what I did. And then we will, well, I think we're going to fill that. I'm going to have this as stairs. I'm going to edit this. I got 746. A couple quick things. Well, I'm going to get some rocks. This is going to be tough. I got 2 minutes. All right, I'm going to fill this up. And I'm just going to... This is all rubble that covers up this entrance. So the players will see that. And, it's not important what, whatever. Okay. And then I'm going to put some rocks out in here. And that's kind of crappy, but you know what? I've only got a minute and a half to go. Oh, I got to put a door. Okay, I got to put a door in here. All right, I got all my doors. That's secret. All right, I got all those doors. And I will, just because I can't help myself, go like so. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I got 1 minute to go. All right. And maybe just up like this. Then I'll create some stalactites. I love these because they provide cover if you're going to have any creatures. It's just fun. And then the last thing I will do is terrain. And I'll switch this to gravel. I'll have gravel here and gravel here, right? And then maybe along like this. This just adds flavor. All right, there we go. And there we have a 10-minute dungeon. Ta-da! All right. Well, there you have it. I've got some rooms. I've got a river. I got some cavern. I got some general ideas on how this might work. I don't necessarily recommend doing this, but as you can see, you can come up with something in 10 minutes. Then you populate the dungeon. Like for me, a VTT of Fantasy Grounds, I got to put it in there and put the line of sight. But something that I forgot about, something that I hadn't, I realized I'm supposed to have a dungeon here. I just came up with it, put it together. And that's the beauty of the mapping software. Because even if I was going to do this on a battle map, I like, as I've said in a video, I like to have an actual computer map that I'm drawing on the battle map. Or even if I was doing this Theater of the Mind, I like to know this is how big these rooms are. This is how much space you've got. If the creatures are coming in from here, how soon are they going to get to you? All that kind of stuff. You can do, it's much easier for me to do when I have an actual map. And again, a shout out to my Patreon supporters. I love about 3 weeks or so, I make a map for them. Love doing it. Love your support. And for all of you, give me a comment if you had to come up with a map in 10 minutes. I'd like to hear about that. And most importantly, as always, keep playing an RPG game and keep making dungeons for that game and tell somebody else about it.